a little crazy. My first live. I'm over here at the Diddy Trial. This is crazy. I was actually able to get into the courtroom. So, but not the courtroom. There's this separate area where this is the overflow room. And yeah, so I'm basically here with my clients that are top law firm in New York City, actually in America, that they are a law firm for sexual harassment lawyers. They're on the civil side, but basically we're covering the trial because obviously the Diddy trial is related to it. So, you know, right now I'm just trying to test out this live thing. I'm actually with my clients right now. You may be able to get a glimpse of them, but not be able to hear them because I need to use my, hold on real quick, I'll show you. My professional audio equipment, I need to connect it to their phone. So the audio is gonna be a little bit tricky because it's windy out today. As you can see, it's kind of like it's definitely like a madhouse over here, you know. We have a lot of people really tuned into the trial, trying to figure out how the prosecution was going to do the closing statements and everything like that. So we went like around lunchtime. It was actually pretty funny because I was in line and I didn't even know if I was able to get in because this was after lunch, and I thought just you couldn't get in. It just starts because it already started. But I just walk into this room, the courthouse over there. There's like a public entrance. This is across the street that I'm at. Some of the film crews are over here too, the big guys, the big dogs. So I'll try to talk a little bit about videography when I get a chance to. But really, you know, this is just talking about the trial itself. But anyhow, so with this in mind, we, like I went into the courtroom, I'm standing in line, and just so happens my clients that are over here, one of them over here, and then one is over here. He's on the phone, so we're taking a little bit of a break. So anyhow, so we're looking at it. So they show up, and then yeah, so we just go in together, which was like perfect timing. And so really, it's interesting to be in a courtroom. You know, you actually do go all the way up to the 24th floor, which is crazy. So they check you in kind of like airport, like security stuff, which is wild. And yeah, you just go through it, and you end up getting, you know, any gear or anything metal. You know, it's basically like the airport. You can't have phones in there, so what they do is they give you this little medallion and they just take it and they store your stuff into like a separate holding room, and then you're just there, you know. Yeah, someone said scream, it's coming out. Yeah, it is. The Diddy trial is coming out. So anyhow, so we were in there, we finally get up to the 24th floor, and then we just go into the, what it's called is the holding room. And you go into that, and that's just really an empty courtroom, which I didn't realize. And you're sitting there with all these other people, and it's like maybe about 20 or 30 people, just, you know, regular citizens that is just curious about the case. I did notice a few vloggers there. There was Unk, they call, I don't know his channel. Feel free to like drop his channel down there if you know his name. He showed up there too. He's the guy with the top hat. He's a little bit on the pro Diddy side, I believe. I don't follow the channel too much, but feel free to talk about it. Yeah, baby old time. It's crazy that that's happened. There was a lot of that talking about it. So when I was there, they basically get you into this room, and it's interesting. Just from a videography perspective, I'm trying to talk about this a little bit because if you don't know, I'm Erban Creative. That's my agency. I am based here in New York. I do video production for corporate clients, musicians, artists, documentaries, all across the board. So really what this was about is covering for my clients that are sexual harassment lawyers that represent people for that, victims and stuff like that. So back to what I mean by that is like when you go in there, they have just TVs that you watch. So the TV screens that you see is kind of more of an angle that's like overhead, but more of a vertical framing, obviously. Right now, since I'm live, I'm on a horizontal framing. This is a vertical framing, my bad, but that's what's going on. And Yeah, so you were watching the court, but you don't get to see the jury. So it's like kind of a bird's eye view. That's what I'm saying. So it's a bird's eye view, and you see the courtroom of it, you know, just happening in real time, which is crazy. And you see Diddy, and Diddy's there, and it's interesting because like in movies, you know how like usually it's like side by side. One side is like the prosecution, and then the other side is the lawyers, the defense. This was like, and go figure, it's New York City, you know what I mean? New York City, it's like everything's stacked up on each other. So it was interesting because there was like 2 rows that were just for the lawyers, I believe, and they were in the back, and then the row was the prosecution, which was I think like maybe 4 or 5 of them. But the lawyers, there's like 10 of them. But it's like, that's how it's stacked, like row, 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 which is interesting. I don't know. I just, for me, from like a movie, thinking about movies and, you know, watching, you know, Law and Order, you know, you just see it in a different, presented a different way. I'm sure other courtrooms across America is like that. But anyhow, so you see that, but you also see the prosecution, the main lady that's speaking to the jury, and she's kind of like facing that way. But again, you can't see the jury, you just kind of see the top of the prosecution speaking her stuff. So yeah, you see her go through her motions, and basically she's doing a very good job of being very methodical about what's going on. And back to Diddy, it's really weird because like he was like kind of sitting at the table, but like kind of sitting back, like leaning back the whole time. You can see him a little bit, but not like too much because the camera kind of sucks, to be honest with you. It's like one of those like Ring cameras or some shit like that, you know? But you do see it. So he's got gray hair. He's kind of dressed in like an all white kind of, I think, like, or a very pastel sweater or something like that. And I might have to cut off real quick because I got to double check whenever they're done with their call. I got to go there, but you guys will be able to see it from the background, and I'll just keep it running live. But so you see Diddy like that. He's kind of slumped over. He crosses his legs at a few times, but like his lawyers are kind of like got their like their elbows on the table, like listening very intently. Diddy's kind of more like puts his head down, like looks a little bit, but like I don't know, it feels like he was like, I wouldn't say defeated, but just kind of like disengaged, or didn't, you know, he didn't want to hear the cold hard truth that like I think the prosecution was laying out. Because I will say is like, you don't know where the case is going to go, but I've been following the case pretty good, is that I do think that the prosecution, I think her name was Slavic, you guys could say in the comments if you want, drop that, is that they do a good job. She was doing an awesome job of really like detailing the reasons why, either the RICO or the sexual trafficking charges should stick. And the reason why I mean by that is because she was really mentioning stuff that they were saying, like the staff knew what was going on, was providing drugs, drugging the women, Jane Doe and Cassie, and it was like a very concentrated, like methodical, like they were planning it all out, really a lot, you know. There's some craziness going on over here across the street. I think it's like maybe a fight. It kind of looks like a fight. Yeah, there's like a fight-ish going on. I know, right in front of the courthouse. That's smart. Yeah, I know. It's my clients over there. They're they're curious about it too. Whenever you're ready, Derek. I was talking to my client real quick. Sorry, just like stuff happening in real time. And it's crazy because I kind of have my gear, you know, like in the backpack. I'm trying to pack it light, but you know, there's stuff that's happening right in the middle. I was here before, and I feel like it's kind of usually the same people that try to like get some viral moment to go, you know, crazy or wild about it. But anyhow, I'm gonna try to actually share this real quick if you guys don't mind. I gotta copy this link. Hopefully I don't go away. I'm trying to put this on my Instagram, so hold on one moment, everyone. Okay.
He's already working tomorrow.
I know. Adam, though,
Oh.
Oh, we're still good. We're still good. Okay. Hold on real quick. Just wanna. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Just trying to double check. All right, I think we're good. I think we're live. Let's hope. Yeah, some crazy madness. I'm just doing. Who was it? Oh, what happened? Yeah, what happened? I didn't see.
Two women were beating each other up. And
Really?
he's a real news guy. He was just talking to me. He said he did the Trump case, and he said there's going to be a lot of shit going down when the verdict comes in. He said
Really? It's going to be a madhouse.
And he said the same thing I said. How do you let your mother and your two teenage daughters sit in there and listen to this day after day?
I don't know. I mean, how's the Thanksgiving dinner after that? You know, what do you have?
And he did say,
how quiet is that? You know, you're at the table and you're like,
he said he could be wrong. He said, but he doesn't think he's going to die in jail. He thinks maybe 10, 15 years.
I think if I had a prediction, I would say, like, he's not going to get everything.
Sex trafficking, definitely.
Yeah, something's gonna. I think this. Ah, man.
I don't know, Ray.
He's up for what, 15 to life?
Well, he's not charged. He's not charged with rape. That's the thing. But also, there's prostitution. That's like one separate charge. That's
Was
separate.
He ever offered a deal?
That's what they said he was.
And he declined.
He didn't take it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they say. I mean, there's not a for sure on it, but
You have to be crazy on this jury not to. I don't know what to say, and I'm not just saying for women. It's just the facts are there.
yeah. Sorry, I'm just live with my channel. I have a YouTube channel. This is Dawn. And I'm sorry, your name was? Saya. She is the intern.
I'm the legal intern.
Yeah, legal intern. And you're going to school?
Let's go, baby.
Did you see them beating each other up?
Let's go. All right. Sorry, guys. I got to help out my client. I'm just putting this over here. We're going to go live. I know it's a little sporadic. It's my first live. Give me a little bit of some slack here, all right? Let me see. We're trying to aim things in the right direction. So what we're going to do with Saya, she's recording the TikTok, and then I'm going to record their live. Sorry.
Gonna be 5 minutes.
Let's, we got to go this way, guys. Yeah, they're... Yeah, we just literally walked in front of a live television station. Might see me on the news, guys. But anyhow, I'll be back. You guys are going to see me do a little bit of my videography magic. This is the reason why I'm here, you know. I'm starting to do these channels because I want to show stuff that's happening on in the city, New York City, but also what's, you know, with videography, there's a lot of crazy stuff that happens, like the Diddy Trial, and like how do people cover it? What are the other vloggers using as far as equipment and everything like that? So I'm gonna give you guys like a little showing of that. Again, I'm over here with my client, Derek Smith Law Group. I'll try to put a link later on, but you can look them up. They have their own YouTube channel. They do podcasts, expert law opinion. Yeah, and we're just getting started, you know, so I got to work with these guys real quick, so I'll be back.
The African American one, I love. The white one,
Okay, I think we're going to flip this on. Moving it around. Flip it.
although I do like holding it. I think that's
Well, the thing is sometimes the audio, when you move it up. Yeah, just to be careful. All right, so your phone is good?
Yep, you want it?
Yeah. And yes, I'm going to...
Who comes to the park with all little kids and stuff?
I do.
People in New York do, I guess.
These little children. I want to hold mine.
I said that, but no.
I know, well, I'm worried
It's like a
about
good,
the
like,
audio. And we're going live.
Too many
We're
things
going
on me.
live.
You're ruining my outfit.
Good.
No, it
You're
doesn't
ruining
matter.
my
Nobody
outfit.
can ruin your outfit.
All right, as long as they know how to hold it.
Derek doesn't have.
The thing is, I know you have your notes, and then you kind of like...
You don't need your notes now.
Fine.
We're going to do the vibe of the outside of the courtroom. Inside prosecution, slamming it. Derek, say hi to Derek.
So I have to go to, just so you know, I'm going to your...
I would like to go home. I'm having
know, it's better light going this way, but you can't.
Yeah, there's too many people this way.
So wait a minute.
Look how many hands he has. No, right here. I have to do.
I don't know.
And it's one of the Jill subtitles.
She retired.
I like her.
She retired. She sent me a voicemail about you.
Just a few seconds, guys. We're copying the description. Copying the description.
Welcome back. This is my feeble-minded co-star. My name is Eric. That's great. Go home.
We can move along. I think we're going to have your phone again. You have it ready?
Thanks so much. You know what you're doing yet or not?
Okay. Ready? Yep, going live. Where are you at?
Hello, everyone. We are at the closing arguments for the Diddy Trial. Today, the prosecution gave what I thought was an amazing closing argument where she methodically, fact after fact after fact, was like another nail in the coffin to P. Diddy's case.
100%. No emotion. Doesn't need emotion. They testified emotionally. She just went down the line and just pretty much laid it out for the prosecution.
And she laid out all of this amazing evidence for the prosecution that this was sex trafficking. What is sex trafficking? What do they have to prove? They have to prove that there was a commercial sex act which was coerced, forced, there was a threat of physical or non-physical violence.
Payment of money as well, exchange it.
Or anything of value.
Of value,
And,
yes.
and any one of these things is enough for there to be a conviction. And they had not just one incident, but they had what sounded like the hundreds of incidents.
Yes.
And what the prosecutor said that we both found very poignant was the fact that it doesn't have to be non-consensual all the time. So you could have, this is not an all or nothing situation, you could have a relationship where it's loving, they go out to dinner, there is amazing sex between each other, saying how much they love each other, but you know what?
Consistency is not key.
If there are instances where he forced her, where he beat her, where he attacked her, and he forced her to have sex with prostitutes for himself, then game over. We got a conviction for sex trafficking.
Yes.
And there was tons of evidence that the prosecutor recounted.
Yes, and the atmosphere here today outside the courthouse is bustling.
Mayhem, there's just a fight going on.
And people just have so many different views, different approaches, different opinions. And tomorrow is defense closing, so it's going to get even a little more chaotic here. Hopefully next week we have the verdict.
I can't wait to see the defense closing argument because you know what? She's going to have a lot to undo. And I don't know how she's going to do it because Cassie Ventura testified that she was beaten, that she was forced to take drugs, that and the video that we saw today, the entire video of that hotel, it paints the entire picture for the prosecution, in my opinion. Here we have a freak-off going on where I believe his name was Antoine, was in the Intercontinental in Los Angeles. They're in a hotel room. They're having a freak-off. They're breaking for a session because these go on for hours after hours. And she says, I'm done. I'm out of here. And he's beating her. And he's not letting her leave. So she rushes out without even having time to put her shoes on. She's in elevator bank, and he comes running after her, naked except for a towel.
Yep.
And he starts kicking her, and he's punching her. And she is able to get on the hotel phone because she doesn't have her cell phone because he took that from her. And she speaks to the hotel security, who is on his way up, a guy named Ivan.
Correct.
So Ivan comes up and rescues her, basically.
Pretty much saves her life. That could have been the day that it was bad scene.
And the prosecutor did an amazing job of recounting how Sean Combs didn't want anyone to come back into the room to see that Antoine was there. However, this security guard walks back with the towel-clad Sean Combs, gets to the room. Sean Combs tries to go in. Ivan puts his foot in the door.
Realizes something's wrong.
Stops, sees Antoine, lets her get her phone, the rest of her
bag,
belongings, her shoes,
And go.
and then go. But you know what? You think it ends there? No. These women, as the prosecution laid out, are slaves. There was not only coercion with respect to kicking and beating and punching and money, but there was also extortion. This line that the prosecutor used, I thought was amazing. He used the freak-offs to extort them to do more freak-offs. For example, Sean Combs and Kathy Ventura were tagged together. They're on a yacht. He kicks her off the yacht without her passport. They get in a fight, and then they're on the plane together going home. She, not wanting to be anywhere near him, changes seats. If he will change seats so she doesn't have to be near him, he changes his seat, uses his power to get somebody else to change his seat so that he can now again sit next to her.
And for the next 8 hours on that flight, psychological warfare ensued. Kathy had to watch all of her freak-off videos over and over.
And he's sitting there with a phone showing freak-off video, saying, everyone's going to see this. Everyone's going to have this. This poor woman, Kathy Ventura, this poor woman, Jane Doe, everything that they went through, I will be dumbstruck if there is any way that this guy gets off, because I see so many avenues for him to be convicted.
I agree, but don't forget, defense-wise as well, they did not bring any witnesses to the stands. I think it was a half hour, and they were done. So I want to see what they have tomorrow as well. I think that's so important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you for tuning in. We will be back at the time of the verdict. It'll be very interesting to see what happens. And don't forget to
Like, share, subscribe. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Good? That was good, right?
First time we've done it.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. But I mean, it's uploading. It's running. It ran, but then it automatically uploaded too. So, and we have the backup. So
See,
I'm gonna text you like right after this. Make sure it played okay. The audio is fine. If not,
Can we go on and look at it?
Yeah. I mean, well, it's gonna take a minute to process. So you'll see it's waiting, but it'll process and then. As long as the audio is good. Yeah, we'll get better at it. I think the verdict will be more comfortable.
We're going to be excited.
We're going to be outside. We'll see the circus.
Are we going to be allowed to go inside?
I don't know.
In the overflow?
That's a good question.
To watch the verdict?
That's a good question. Can you go in the... Yeah, thank you.
I need Xanax that day, baby.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure how it actually works. But yeah, if you go into the courtroom, because you can't watch the jury from the camera.
No, you can't see the jury, and you can't see any of it.
No, but you can see the verdict because
they read it.
They read it.
Oh, yeah.
On counts 1, 2, and 3, like that.
So we'll see. Even if I think we're out here and we talk about it more, and then you guys tomorrow.
It's like a chiropractor thing.
But let me know if you come tomorrow.
I might come tomorrow.
See if you want to.
Just for an hour or so.
Yeah. It's a good thing we got the backup because if it doesn't look good or whatever, she can just immediately delete it and then we'll upload the other video.
But you'll edit the other video.
Yeah, the other video we'll have to edit.
You take a couple of pictures. I don't have a good profile. profile.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And let's see if I can get it out.
What do you mean you have to profile?
How do we make this up?
Where? On all of the websites? Yeah. I like the new one. The old one was bad.
Give it a shot. Give it a shot. Here, I'm trying to move over here a little bit so you're like.
Looking spiffy.
I did take a lot of them.
George, you want a flower in here?
The light.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
Right? We're going to blow the back of it.
Yeah, yeah, gotcha.
You want a flower in your hair?
Yeah, actually, the lighting's perfect.
Right on.
All right.
Thank you for everything.
Yeah, yeah, it's good seeing you.
I will see you this
Nice
week.
to meet you.
Yes,
By the way.
you too.
Yeah, thanks so
I'll
much.
see you. I'll
Can
see
I
you.
airdrop them to you?
Yeah, that's probably, well, I'll send a link for it to probably upload.
She's Saya at DerekSmithLaw.com. SAYA.
Okay, I got you.
She'll send you a link.
Yeah.
Thank you for all
Great.
your
All right, yeah.
Thanks for
Good
coming
seeing you.
along.
So if I come tomorrow, I'll let you know. And
Yeah,
I
even if
could
it's
do a
just
little
me and you,
something
you know, if
myself.
you're busy.
Yeah, you should.
You know what I mean?
And
Good.
then we'll come back for the verdict. Probably
The
Wednesday.
verdict, yeah. I'm hoping
That
it's,
is the Wednesday or Thursday. So you can't go down the shore.
well, it won't be Thursday because I think 4th of July
It's
though.
Friday.
Why
Oh, is
was
it
the
Friday?
verdict be? Why not Monday, Tuesday?
I'm hoping it's Tuesday
The longest.
because I actually got something on Wednesday I might have to be a part of.
I think it's unless they go back to the judge.
Yeah, good. All right. Did you guys look at that guy's, that's what I'm going to shoot with that nude to the street, with that PR guy?
Yeah.
I'm shooting with him on the 3rd.
Okay.
So if you guys want to talk more with him, let me know. I'll I won't say,
Yeah.
I'll bubble it a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, because I told him about you guys and he was like, oh, okay, well.
Thank you.
If I do come, it's going to be in the morning session, and I'm out of here by noon.
I got you.
So I'll let you know.
Tomorrow, for tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, all right.
Oh, do you have the gimbal?
Yes.
So it doesn't seem to work very well.
Well, it would have if we had more time for me to kind of figure out what view, because a lot of times this is more of a view this way.
Okay.
When you try to do it from that way, the camera angle,
What
it
is
just
going on?
throws it off a little bit. So I think that's kind of what happened.
So-
It does work. I think
Okay.
we didn't have enough time. I think we were just trying to
Eric,
Rush it.
the next podcast, we were going to talk about Cuomo, but Cuomo lost the primary, so
Lost.
I don't need to talk about Cuomo.
Yeah, no.
Crazy.
So,
Pretty crazy.
it's scary. It's not crazy. It's scary. So I think we have to come up with another idea.
Well, I think didn't Tia recommend we do a full recap of the verdict after the verdict, and then
I think it's overkill, no? All right.
I mean, everyone else is doing it. All right, let me know.
So we'll do that probably in August, September, like around there.
Okay.
August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean probably before.
We're all going away. We're both going to Europe.
When?
July to all the way to July to the end.
I'm mid-July. I'm gone too.
Yeah, so we'll
Till August.
Is it Diddy Trial end?
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Maybe before we can pull it off.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
I think we're good.
You're leaving too? All right. Thank you for everything. And he's going to send you an email and
Yes,
that's bad.
Yeah, well, I'll send you an email. Okay,
Bye.
cool. All right. All right, guys, sorry. That was a little wild. I had to shoot for my lawyer clients, and it was really run and gun and do a live. So I see Chrissy's there. Chris Dax, how you doing? I don't know if you're still watching, guys. I'm just gonna try to put my equipment away, and I'll talk some more about what I saw at the case. So just give me a few seconds. You guys can watch maybe a different view. You can do this. You know what I realized actually from a professional standpoint? They kept on turning this car on and off. Like while I was here, I was like, what's going on? I'm like, is the car about to bounce or what? Like, they about to run us over? But the reason why they do that is actually, and I could be wrong, maybe a guess, but there's so much video heavy duty equipment here with lighting that they have to power it by this battery. So it's probably hooked up to this car and they have to start it every once in a while so the battery doesn't go dead. That's just my theory. There's a conspiracy theory for you. Anyhow, give me 2 seconds. I gotta pack up my stuff, I'm over here with all my gear. I'm looking crazy. All right, almost done, guys. Okay, kind of packed, not really. I'll pack up a little bit better later. In my book bag. All right, man. Well, let's see how this is. Honestly, I think the closing statements are done, you know? And let me kind of get this tripod so it's not like freaking crazy and I run into people. So let me check. I don't know. People are like taking pictures and I don't know who these lawyer guys are. But I don't know. They may seem like they're a big deal. They're walking away. I don't think they're part of the council. They might be. Let's hold on real quick, guys. Again, this is my first live, so, you know, don't judge. I'm over here. There we go. All right. Let's see. Let's see. I feel like people are even getting more rowdy over here. So, I gotta stick around for a little bit longer. But again, this is it's New York City, man. It's crazy. So, videography, setup, perspective. Yeah, this is just really cool just to see that these are all the. You know what? I'm gonna walk right on the street. Let's see. If I get hit by a car, so be it, right? I don't think I will. But I wanted to show you. These are all the. Okay, see, that's like I just might have got on TV right there. These are all like the setups, and it goes far. It goes real far, all the way down to across that street. There's NBC right over there. Yeah, I don't want to go too crazy, so let me just like walk back. But anyhow, so let's get back to what I was here for. You guys saw that I was with the Derek Smith Law Group. Follow their channel. They're really like got expert opinion, and they're one of my clients. You know, I shoot podcasts with them. I shoot some branding videos for them, and they're you know a good client that I got reoccurring this year from you know all my creativity. So I'm gonna go over here a little bit. Let's see what happens, because there's definitely some crazy stuff going on here. Some woman's got a mask on. You know, let me just show you a little bit. So yeah, as you guys can see, it's like, oh, there's like this dude that like looks like academics, but it's not academics. And he's like getting famous for being the fake academics. It's crazy that in this world people get like famous for looking like a fake Drake or a fake any celebrity nowadays. You know the funny thing is, some people said that I look like G-Eazy. G-Eazy just got like he's got a grown beard now. I don't know. Like I always remember G-Eazy with like no beard, but I saw him on like this other podcast, LA Leakers, I think, and he had a beard. I was like, damn, I don't know. I do kind of look like him. So maybe I'm in the wrong profession, you know. But anyhow, yeah, this is what's going on right now. I mean, I gotta capture it.
I can't even go down like that.
Elon Musk?
Where you at?
No, her mask. Is that Elon Musk?
No,
or-
that's Elon.
What the? Nigga, you late.
Oh shit! Wow. How you doing, man?
All right.
Yeah, I saw you taking pictures earlier.
You know, just in and out, in and out.
Yeah.
Try to capture.
Did you go into the
Timeless
courthouse
moments.
at all?
Nah, too big.
You just kind of want to check the
Outside vibe.
I'm a videographer, so you know I didn't want to ask questions that when people are using it. What camera is that? If you don't mind me. T7?
Yeah.
Okay. Does
T7.
it shoot? Can you put it in the view? Or here, don't worry, I'll take a view of it. Oh, that's dope. So that takes video and photos, right?
That's correct.
Okay, cool.
But always remember, it's the eye, it's not the camera.
It really is. Yeah. What's your name, man?
Robert.
Robert. You
My
got a
handle's
channel?
Always First Class Media.
Always first class? Okay, I'll hit you up. Maybe we
Always-
can shoot together. You know?
Works, just hit me up.
Yeah, let's make some money. Right? All right, shit. Anyhow. So yeah, this is, I'm telling you, like everyone's going live right now. Just crazy, right? Everyone's going live. And then you have some people, yep, the camera's over here. See, they got press badges, so they have reason to be here, access, you know? Access. Again, last video you guys might have saw that I did, you know, a slow, I wasn't live because I couldn't go live yet, but thanks everyone for actually getting me to over 50 subscribers. If you haven't got subscribed yet, please subscribe, because then you can put a comment down. You can actually do that. If you're not subscribed, you can't leave a comment, you know? So anyhow, let's go through the madness one more time, and then I'll go over to this other area where like a lot of vloggers are shooting at, and it's a little more calmer over there. It's on the side over here. You'll see what I mean. But yeah, we'll go through it a little bit. I actually saw some of these people in the courtroom with me, like this lady right here.
By the time 2 o'clock hit, it got hot.
Yeah. So it's crazy. People over here. My guy, the fake academics. Academics, man, you're gonna have to tell this dude like, yo, you need to hold up, bro. You need to stop all this madness. I'm a big fan of your channel, by the way. So anyhow, that's all the mess over there, but I gotta get heading out soon. But let me just kind of go back here. It's a little bit more quiet. Again, a lot of vloggers and people are usually go over here to kind of do their recap stories and stuff. So here I am, kind of like a vlogger, and I'm just gonna show you guys kind of what. Let me get this up here. Again, this is kind of where I was at earlier for the courtroom itself. So just so you know, so you walk into this entrance. You see, I don't know if you see that sign, I'm probably moving it too fast, but it says jury duty and public entrance. You go through here, you go through this line, it's like an airline, seriously, of you going through here, and then like you gotta go through the metal detectors, and the guys there, they're all like bald-headed and, you know, just like super serious, you know what I mean? I accidentally left my electronics, like my camera stuff, in my bag, so they freaked out. They're like, why didn't you take it out? Why didn't you take it out? You know, like almost seemed like they're gonna just like kick me out or basically not let me even go into the courtroom. And I was like, hey, I wasn't paying attention because again, my lawyer clients just like rolled up. So I wasn't like hearing what they're saying. There's not like a visible sign that says, there probably is. I ain't gonna lie. There probably is. I just wasn't paying attention. You know, so I was a little excited just going in there. And so anyhow, so yeah, the Diddy trial itself. So yeah, I went in there. First time I have, and I got to preface this a little bit because, like, I mean, I don't know what you guys think. Like, it's not that, you know, this is, some people care about the Diddy stuff, some people don't. Some people think it's just like a big circus or whatever. But the reason why, for me, like, I just got really pulled into it. For one, I have a client that is actually related in a sense of like doing these civil cases and sexual harassment. So I think one big thing that you got to do if you have a client is you have to do your research on your client. You have to get invested a little bit on like what they do. Even if you're working as a freelancer, you got to show that you care. So for me, I always made sure that I did my research on my clients, and I still do, and you know, I'm invested in it. So that's one thing. But then the second thing is, it's just like a little bit nostalgic to me because I feel like there hasn't been a trial in America that's garnered so much like media attention. It's such like a crazy thing since the OJ trial. In the OJ trial, obviously it was state, so state they shoot it on camera. But since this is a federal trial, they don't, you know, so you can't have cameras in there, obviously. But it just reminds me of back then because I remember like, you know, watching the OJ trial every single day with my dad, and my dad was just like super, like, he was just like a super fan of it. He was glued to it just as much as I am about the Diddy thing. So, you know, yeah, so anyhow, that's why I'm invested in it, along with like the videography part of it, you know. So I want to show more of like what videographers do in the city and the craziness they get into. So again, this is an Erban Creative channel if you guys are just jumping in, and I own a creative agency that focuses on video production in New York City. And yeah, get a hold of me if you guys ever need some help with that. So yeah, let's go back to the trial. I know I'm jumping all over the place, but yeah, so we get into the courtroom, the overview room, I guess you can say, and the prosecution, again, I think her name is Savic. She just is really showing, like, you see a TV screen, see that one side of the screen that's like the courtroom, that you're seeing it in real time, you know, so you're seeing her present it from like a bird's eye view, again, like it's all like kind of overhead. It's a bad angle, but you see her speaking to the jury, but you can't see the jury because they're cut off. But you see Diddy's team 2 rows, I think, and then the prosecution's kind of like tucked in the side or whatever. But she's standing up and she's just kind of giving her, you know, her closing arguments, you know, to the jury, like directly facing the jury. So it's just interesting to be in the courthouse. If you've ever been in a courthouse, it's kind of crazy because it's the same way with church, in the sense that church always has like a certain smell, a certain vibe to it, like a spiritual vibe. You feel a little... Courtroom's not like that, you know, and I've been to a few courtrooms back in the day. I won't talk about it right now, but it's a sterile feeling. It's a very like sobering feeling, as you know, like a very somber, like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? Like, I'm in a courtroom and some heavy shit is going on right now, you know what I mean? On what's going to happen. People's lives are at stake one way or the other, or people being affected by, you know, trials and stuff. So anyhow, so going back to what the prosecutor was saying, you have that one screen where it's the jury, and then you have the other screen that's like basically like a PowerPoint presentation that I'm sure the jury is seeing as well, that, excuse me, that you see. And it's just like this really bad, like, I don't know, like I was just even thinking in my head from a graphic design standpoint, like I wish they could have jazzed that up a little bit, you know, like have a background image of Diddy, you know what I mean, like angry and he's got his towel on or something, you know, like just design it a little bit better. I think like I could have done something better in Illustrator, or I don't know, I don't use Canva myself, you know what I mean, but still, anyone that uses Canva could have did a better job. But that side is actually showing text messages, showing actual proof of what they're laying out. And I think that's the big thing, the big hurdle that the defense is going to have, is how are they going to get past what is in writing. If you really like kind of like separate what's, you know, it's because, you know, like in Training Day, it's not that what you know, it's what you can prove, you know what I'm saying? So as much as people are saying that, like, oh, you know, it was just domestic violence, it wasn't this, it wasn't that, they do have a little bit of wiggle room with that. But the problem is there's too much, to me, in my opinion, there's too much stuff overwhelmingly across the board. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like these freak offs were happening just like on every, you know, every New Year's, and that's all it was, just one time, blah, blah, blah. This is happening in such a very concentrated effort, like, you know, 50 times in 1 year or something like that. I'm making the numbers up because I don't know exactly, but what I'm saying is it's more than, you know, once a month. You know, this stuff was happening on a very consistent basis that, for one, the staff had to have known about it, even though if they didn't verbally say it or it was in writing, even though she did show that. The prosecution was showing, like, hey, make sure that Cassie has, you know, stuff on like a eye, you know, ice on her eye and stuff like that, or make sure you get the money to get sent to this particular escort. So all that stuff with it's basically what I mean is like the prosecution really backed up what they were saying in writing. Text messages, emails, phone calls, voice memos, metadata of like locations and stuff like that. So I feel like it's going to be hard for the defense to not, the defense to say like, oh, well, they wanted to do this all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, how could you say that like every single time they wanted to do it? So that's where the burden of proof gets leaning towards the prosecution side, because, and I'm not a lawyer, right? I'm just trying to walk through it of what I've listened to, is that the burden of proof is there on the prosecution side more than defense, because the defense is trying to say that both of them, Jane Doe and Cassie, were down for him every single time, and they willingly wanted to do that every single time. But that's probably not true, because in writing, they're talking about, or in some type of, communication, they're talking about, and not just testimony, they're talking about Cassie saying, I don't want to do this. Cassie verbally saying, you're using me like a rag, like you're dragging me like a rag doll. You're just using me as a, and I don't know if it was Cassie or Jane, but like just using me as a, a sex toy or a sex, like any of that. So that's where I think, and again, I don't know which way it's going to go, but to me, I think it's going to be hard pressed to say that there's not just one instance from both of them, or just one of them, because remember, it only needs to be one person. Doesn't have, you could totally throw out Jane's testimony and all that and just have Cassie, or vice versa. But it only takes one time for them to say, I didn't want to do it that time. And there was like a specific time that the prosecution was even laying out about the birthday and how she was saying that she didn't want to do it. There was also a time with Jane Doe where they said they were going to go on vacation, and Diddy's telling her, like texting her the whole time, like, oh, we're just going to go, just me and you. It's just going to be me and you. Don't worry. I know you've been wanting this trip, just us on vacation, and that's what we're doing. And but then he had in the back pocket an escort waiting the whole time. So then when he drugged her up, then he slid it in like, hey, by the way, whatever the name is, Sylvester, Sly, I think, one of the escorts, like, hey, he's over here. You ready? Let's go. So that falls into the coercion. That falls into like the kind of the manipulation of what was happening, that he was doing. So again, I don't know how you get around that. I really don't know how you're going to get around the fact that there's these text messages, along with the testimony, along with everything that lines up with a lot of coercion, a lot of fraud, a lot of bribery. Like the arson, I get it. Like that doesn't really necessarily need to be like what he would get like guilty of. And, everyone was saying about how the prosecution kind of took away, I guess, like the attempted arson, some of the attempted things, where it's like either yes or no. But again, she presented it today like, hey, this is the totality of it, and that's why it's a RICO. That's why it's, the sexual trafficking part. So it's going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky for Diddy to like completely walk free from everything. So I think everyone should expect that. Like, this guy's going to get something. I don't know what it is. So I don't know exactly, even for me, like where I feel. I guess like we'll see what happens tomorrow with the defense and how they can raise up so much of what's going on. But also I think it's kind of like the prosecution is doing a good job of saying it in a chronological order. Like, yeah, they might have been down with it like in the beginning. You know how it is in a relationship. You try to like appease a lot of times, and it's separate from this Diddy stuff because that's just so crazy what they did. But like, I'm just saying, like in relationships, everyone always tries to appease their partner, and they might be doing stuff that they don't necessarily want to do, but they're like acting like they're down to do it. Let's be real, right? But from that, there came something that was more and more sinister. You know what I mean? Like more, just an illegal kind of vibe. You know what I mean? And I think like the big thing was, and I'll say this about what happened today, is that the prosecution, they played the video again. The Diddy assaulting Cassie at the hotel video at the Intercontinental. And I watched it before, on TV or whatever, CNN or whatever. And they showed different scenes, but the way she kind of laid out how Diddy's thought process was and walked through how things were happening. So for example, like Diddy tried to, when the security came up, Diddy knew that the escort was in the room and they were in the middle of a freak off because he walked down that hallway and then he stopped. He didn't go in at first. Think about that. If you were going, if there was nothing wrong happening in that room, right? If there's nothing wrong that's happening in a room, why wouldn't you just go in? Even if you had an argument with your girl, right? You would just go in and be like, all right, yeah, we're in the hotel room. Security's here too. Babe, tell him what's up. Make sure he knows that everything's cool. He didn't do that. And he didn't do that because he was drugged up, because that's what the defense is trying to say. He was completely drugged up. That was wrong. So what they're saying is that, you know, Diddy started to walk, and you can see it, the video. He's starting to walk up there, and then he stops, and he just stands in the hallway, and he's just kind of waiting for, trying to, I think, buy him some time to maybe either the escort to hide himself or whatever. But what the security person did, which might have saved, you know, Cassie from more damage, you know, maybe possibly, you know, you don't know, right, what was going to happen even more if he didn't intervene, is that he put his foot in front of the door. And he was like, hey, no, you're letting me in, you know, this isn't your property, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't fucking own this hotel room, so I'm going to get access in. So he got in. And his testimony lines up with that. So that's what I mean, is like, there's too much of it. And like when you watch the video again, and when she's describing it, it's like she's really like when you kind of, I guess what I mean is like when you're hearing her say this is what his intentions was, him dragging her, trying to drag her, because they were in the middle of why he was in the towels, because he's still in the middle of the freak off and he wants him to wants her to finish it. That's where it's kind of like you start to look at the video a little bit more than just domestic violence. That's what I mean. Like, you really like look at it like, damn, bro, like this is kind of like getting real like sinister, man. This is getting very like illegal. It felt illegal. It felt more illegal than even before. And the video is horrible. So I didn't really realize how much Diddy, like the video, that Diddy video, I didn't realize how much that actually solidifies or cements it. And when you really think about it, that's probably what happened, is that once that video was released, that's when the feds like, okay, we need to investigate this more, because this looks like some like, you know, human trafficking type stuff. If you're like dragging someone, literally trying to drag someone into the room, you know? So I think that's kind of where, like, I didn't get a chance to watch the whole closing statements and everything like that, but that's kind of the gist of where we're at. We left around like 2:30, and we had to go over there and record because they had some meetings today that they had to get to. So, but either way, the prosecution did an awesome job of like really like just laying it all out. They did better than I expected, especially given the press and everyone, people saying like, oh yeah, they don't really have a case and the defense is confident. Don't get me wrong, you never know what's gonna happen. But it's all I would say is like, it was really cool to actually be in the courtroom and actually see it. It's kind of like a moment in history. At least for me, it's like, you know, I grew up on Diddy's music. I grew up on the 90s era, like music. I'm more of a Tupac fan myself, you know what I mean? I was always on that side. But I mean, I loved Biggie. I loved the music that came out with Diddy. So it's crazy to see that like he's over here in court and he's literally like fighting for his life. But on the other hand, I think power, you know, if you have too much power and people have power where it corrupts. And I think this is just what the case is. You know, the king's disease, you know what Nas says. Look up his albums and you'll see what I mean. Like, that's kind of what I feel is happening or happened with Diddy. He's just got too drunk on power more than anything, you know? So I think I'll conclude there, guys. Thanks for showing up to my live. I know I had some crazy comments earlier, so some people were saying what's up. Thanks for coming in and tuning in, and a lot of oil up stuff, but thanks for saying hi. And yeah, hopefully, I think I'm going to try to get down here for the verdict, and I'll be there with my clients as well. So we might even show up tomorrow. I'm going to see what happens. I have other projects I got going on, so we'll just see. But yeah, I will be back and check in with you guys on this Diddy trial. And I'm going to do some more, just so you know, I'm going to do some more live streams just in general about creative stuff. I have a lot of creative friends in New York City that, you know, I want to showcase what they do and how it ties in with me doing video and everything like that. So this is just the first of many. I hope you guys are entertained, and thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk soon. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to Erban Creative channel to see more cool stuff like this. All right, guys, see ya.